Human rights lawyer Dele Farotimi has been released from the Ekiti State Correctional Center after fulfilling his bail conditions. Farotimi was granted bail with conditions including a 30 million naira bond and 2 sureties. Speaking to the press after his release, Farotimi maintained that he is innocent, stating that he has never intentionally lied about anyone or any institution, stating his commitment to seeking truth and justice.
I need all of you to know is this: I am not unmindful of the sacrifices that you have made to be here today. May the grace of God find and locate you wherever you are. Amen. It is not ever an easy journey when you are fighting evil.
Yes.
But some years back, before I started this work, God told me very clearly, and I heard it very clearly. He says, once have I spoken. Once has he spoken, twice have I heard. He says, the truth is enough. It is the only weapon by which you can slay the monster called Nigeria. The truth, nothing else. In my public advocacy, in my fight and my wars against this evil empire that we all live in, I have never lied against anyone. Yeah. If I don't know, I'll say I don't know. Yes.
Farotimi was arrested following allegations of defamation made by prominent lawyer Chief Afe Babalola SAN, who claimed that Farotimi made false statements about him in his book. The police also filed additional charges against Farotimi. In a related development, the Legal Practitioners Disciplinary Committee, LPDC, has rejected a request by Chief Afe Babalola's law firm, Emmanuel Chambers, asking to revoke the law practicing license for Dele Farotimi over allegations of criminal defamation and professional misconduct.
Now, joining us to discuss the recent developments in this case is the chief spokesman for the national coordinator, Obedient Movement, Dr. Eunice Atanko. Thank you very much. Good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year in advance to everyone.
Same to you. I think you were present yesterday. I'm not sure if it was you in the video, but I guess you were present yesterday when he was released. Tell us about, what does all of this mean to you? The 30 million naira bill, that he was granted, along with, 2 sureties. What does all of this mean to you in relation to the allegations against Dele Farotimi?
Okay, quickly, let me make a correction. Dele Farotimi did not address the press as was stated this morning by court. He was actually addressing and, appreciating members of the Obedient Movement who came far and wide to welcome him back into the fold for regaining his freedom. He did not address any press. It was just a short video of accepting and greeting everybody that came in from Lagos, Ibadan, Oyo, all of the southwestern states to really show love to him. He was, almost emotional in the way in which he saw a lot of people coming to him. That should be clearly stated. Then, because I was there. And then, secondly, to answer your question, quite honestly, we have always been asking for a fair trial with regard to a gentleman who saw the decay in our system and is alluding to some of the facts that he knows. And then he made those particular statements in a book. And with due honesty, yes, a lot of individuals, maybe in particular, Babalola was mentioned in certain areas. But I don't really think such a stringent bail condition should have been accorded to him. It shows that there are other issues that Dele Farotimi has been alluding to has come to fore. But then, the way it is, that was the reason why His Excellency Peter Gregory Obi made sure that everything that is necessary to ensure the freedom of Dele Farotimi was made possible. And all of my presence and himself went to see Chief Afe Babalola, who eventually also somebody who really believed in the cause of our candidate and also you see we have a family issue within ourselves, but we need to resolve. But the truth about it is that when there are facts of issues within the family, that fact should be clearly stated and clear. So I can say that the stringent level of the bail conditions were almost made into intentionally or in a way to deter Dele Farotimi from coming out. But then,
all right, I want to, if I may interject quickly, you had spoken about visiting Chief Afe Babalola. Can you shed a bit more light on that?
Well, you see, His Excellency Peter Gregory, we believe that there are other means of which certain issue could be sorted out. So, in visiting him, His Excellency Peter Obi actually tried to draw his attention to some of these particular issues as regard to individuals being defamed or assumed to be defamed in a way, but being called names and all, considering a person of his own standard as a person. These are something that's not really supposed to really bother him. So he was of the opinion that such situations should have been just easily been ignored so that not to draw attention. To be truthful to you, quite a number of Nigerians did not even know that Dele really wrote a book. But taking him to that particular level of challenging the book and all of it, trying to defend individual personality and all, bring the book into a fold now that it has become a bestseller. So what you are trying to avoid in the first place is what has really eventually happened. And then the book now has become been sorted for an issue of probably historical issue that have happened, whether good or bad, have started coming to the public sphere, things that ought to have not even been discussed in the first place. So it's essential as a father and as a leader and somebody who is trying to make sure that you show empathy, try to say, look, let me do an alternative dispute resolution, which is normally even accepted by law, not by any means to beg or anything, no, but to clearly say that, look, let us look at this issue in a different way. And once we can settle it, then possibly Dele will have been out of the prison long before now.
Do you think that that meeting, has borne any fruit?
Immediately at that particular point, you may say it did not, but at the end of it all, it has started making a lot of impact with regard to people seeing reason to the position of His Excellency Peter Gregory and say, look, this person may be right in this particular position that he took, so that there won't be any kind of a bad blood. So eventually it is reading full, and the people are seeing it in a different manner, and they can understand the kind of option that is more easy for us to deal with dispute resolution that happen within the family.
Well, we've seen that there had been moves to revoke his license, his practicing license. The Legal Practitioners Disciplinary Committee has, of course, turned that down, saying that he functioned in his capacity as an author, not as a lawyer. Share with us your thoughts on Afe Babalola's chambers making that move. And do you think that the outpouring or the criticism that they had gotten from Nigerians as a whole may have in a way impacted their actions?
Well, I must confess, really, when you look at the old man, somebody who believes in philanthropic gesture and all, I may use the wrong word by saying that probably we have some overzealous individuals within his ranks who are really trying to fuel this. But if you are to leave the old man himself on himself when you discuss with him, I think he wouldn't have gone this particular route to say, okay, we want to withdraw the license. To what gain would that add to him? So, and that, of course, draw the negative criticisms that you are seeing cut across. So, but for the old man, believe me, I've at least had a contact with him, and his humane nature wouldn't have even wanted to really go that particular route. So it is actually wrong for anybody. You see, sometimes there's this particular saying in the Hausa language. You say, "Ba mungum sarki shemugum papadi," meaning that sometimes you don't really have a bad king, but you have pastors, bad disciples around you. So I think inwardly, the woman could have done something different if he been left alone as a person.
Okay. I also want to talk about, I mean, you know, many people have criticized, I mean, since this case started, one of the things that, you know, I've seen people point out is that the exact thing which Dele Farotimi wrote in his book is what is seemingly playing out here. I'm sure you're also familiar with the story of Olamide Thomas, who, of course, you know, was arrested here in Lagos and then moved to the Federal Capital Territory. Of course, you know, also violating her human rights. I think she's also making a case in court as well, amongst many other people. So is this a clear, you know, sign that there is issues with the Nigeria's justice system? And these are some of the things that Dele Farotimi hoped that he will be able to, you know, speak on in his book.
I must confess, that book or those statements that was made by Dele Farotimi has really brought out a lot of issues within the Nigerian judicial system. There's no doubt about it. And even some of the judges and some of the lawyers also know a lot about this particular decay in the system. This is not issues that were being stated by only Dele Farotimi. Dele Farotimi only encapsulated some of the issues that are being raised by even judges themselves. Judges made this particular, remember some of those particular judges, some of the lawyers who are retiring, all of this in the public space. These are things that we all know. So now, whether the judicial system is trying to cleanse himself, just like any of our, what would I call it, establishments, majority of our establishments have wrongs doing the processes of how you deal with the issues of road construction, the issue of health facilities, the issue of security, the issue of our judicial system, the issue of our electoral system. Virtually all of these particular agencies have serious issues under them. There's no doubt about it. So, and everybody knows about it. So, but Dele's statement has helped to kind of arouse the subconscious mind of both those who are alleged and those who are alleging. So for every Nigerian, let me give you an example. While we were coming out from the prison, we drove together with him, and then we're sharing a small experience, which I know probably will be the next thing that will come out of his book when he's writing another new book, because there's a lot of experience that he has within that particular prison yard. Can you imagine when somebody has been arrested for stealing a chicken, or somebody arrested for stealing a cup or corn in a village market, and some of these particular persons are still in the jail, and they are being charged or being jailed for 9 years, 4 years, 6 years, as the case may be, for something as little, well, you may call it, yes, as little as a chicken and as a wrap, pap, or probably corn. And they are there. I saw with my 2 eyes somebody who almost got blind because there was a communal issue that he has to go into one strand or the other, and the guy has gone blind. And now you keep on wondering, what will have happened to those people who have been stealing Nigerian resources to a point of stupor, and yet none of them have been really jailed to that particular level of that is commensurate to kind of pain and pang that they've added to the Nigerian people who they were supposed to be, those particular money was supposed to be in trust to them. So you see, these particular kinds of adjudication on matter give a lot of question to individuals. Or when you talk about even our electoral laws, when somebody who did not even contest a primary election, yet he became a senator, and the end of it all becomes the Senate president. And these are things that really knock off your head, or some of them becoming governors. And you ask Nigerians who will go to the polling unit and vote for for a particular person of their choice, and yet their election result is being turned upside down. These are things that agitate the minds of the Nigerian people. It is completely wrong. So I am of the strong opinion, while I believe there are judges and there are lawyers who are saying, who are intending to give Nigeria a good name, there are also those who have already engaged into serious ethical issues that has to do with their job. And those are the things that really affecting them. So we need to cleanse our systems, be it in the judiciary, be it in, of course, in any of the agency, like I said, Ministry of Works, talking about roads, talking about health, talking about security. There are people who have been openly been accused of misuse of resources meant for our roads. And these particular roads end up killing people, including their own siblings and their own brothers and sisters. And yet, some of these people goes home free whenever they have been arrested. We've seen these cases everywhere. So it is not about Dele in particular. It's about all of us. There's a need for a revolutionary change in the attitude and the way in which everybody deal with the issues of position of power that's been given to he or she. And it's a serious matter. It's a serious matter, very serious.
Yeah. And so, you know, what do you think happens next? He's been granted bail. He still will have his day in court to defend, of course, you know, himself against the charges brought against him. How do you expect that it plays out going forward? And is, you know, Peter Obi's, you know, presence going to once again be sought?
Well, His Excellency Peter Obi will not stop in trying to look at the alternative dispute resolution, this particular matter. He will definitely not stop. And I think we have a date in court on the 20th of February, if I'm not mistaken. And then before that, there will be all kinds of reach out and the discussions on how to get this particular matter. Those who feel hot will be reached out to say, look, let us be sincere to ourselves, look at options and all, and then look, these are things that we will do, but of course at the same time, we will follow the rules and regulations and the processes of the court to ensure that the right thing is done. And then I just wanted to say this. I met a Dele who was extremely humane, and not that only thing, he practiced what he said. When he said that I don't lie, right in front of me, he took my phone, and then he was trying to really get to go by sending a message. And then you know, said, I don't even know how to use this particular phone. You know, some people who would have thought that I'm intellectually endowed, how could I say that I don't know how to use a particular phone? These are practical examples of what he's trying to say. And at the end of it, or before he left that particular prison, he shared everything he had. He had about 130,000 naira, as he said, and then he shared it to all of the inmates. These are the kind of thing we ought to be doing to each other in the situation we find ourselves. So practically, Dele shows his humane nature. He's shown his dexterity as regard to request for us to have an egalitarian society. Not only that, he also believes in a Nigeria that works for everybody. So in where you are or what you come from. And then he said one thing that really struck me. We need to find a way of managing each other, because everybody that you see in this world is wired differently. It's wired differently, he acts differently, but your ability to associate and to think about how he feels, how you feel, also showcase your kind of person as a human being. So in this particular way of thinking, I think we have people in this country that really understand the dynamics and then needing for an urgent reform in all of our agencies for the betterment of the Nigerian people, and especially for the Nigerian people who are suffering so badly.
All right. I think my final question, as quickly as you can, would be, you know, your thoughts about how this might impact those who have been referred to as activists and their ability to speak up in the coming months, years. You know, this Dele Farotimi case, how do you think it will impact them?
How do I think what?
How do you think that the way that Dele Farotimi's case has been pursued will impact the ability of activists and those who speak up against injustice to be boldened, you know, to continue to speak up? Do you think that this would maybe reduce their ability to speak up further?
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. It will not reduce their will and deal interest in speaking up. What it will do is that this is where I will throw a caution for the Nigerian security agencies and the government in particular. And then to those individuals who may think that by going through a stringent method, by attacking people, they will get it. You are only fueling a bigger problem. There are Nigerians who do not even care if they lose their life in the struggle. There are Nigerians who believe strongly that they are ready because they feel that they have nothing to live for. So they can go to extreme level So just like I just gave you an example of what Dele was saying in the car, was like, we need to find a way of managing our people. Our people are extremely angry. In fact, they look at you in the eye when you're not doing what you're supposed to do, they will challenge you. Remember this particular word, no grief for anybody. No grief for any. It came out of frustration. So probably thinking that this kind of thing that people are doing and government is doing, arresting somebody because you mentioned the son of somebody who is in position of power, so you go and gag that person and arrest that particular. Why don't you look in the mirror? Have I done the right thing to this particular person in the first place before? Because many people, they are not mad, they are not crazy for them to act in a certain way. Something must have been done wrongly to them. We have a case where a girl was arrested in Sokoto for just mentioning some issues about the wife of the governor. We have another lady who has already been arrested. She's in Abuja, already in the prison, being arrested for making references to it. But where have you ever think that, have I really looked at myself and said, look, what did I do wrong to this particular person for him to go to this particular level? Don't forget, all of us are Nigerians, and we are all human beings. So the idea of you trying to see whether you can subdue individuals because you are in a position of power, it only stands for a period of time. And anything can change at any time. Nobody would have thought, remember Gaddafi, with all the love that he showed his people, would ended up in a tunnel where he was being killed.
All right.
Saad was there, that left the country through the back door. And so many other persons too were being, in fact, on the seat where you claim to be, people rush you and deal with you negatively because you did not do well as when you are being given a position of.
Mr.
So
Tanko,
please, that any attempt or so to subdue any Nigerian will yield a fruit. No, it only aggravates the matter.
All right. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us this morning. We'll continue to follow up with the story. Especially, of course, we know that he'll be returning to court, so we'll keep up our viewers updated, and we'd love to have your thoughts again. Thank you for your time this morning.